also, I feel, I really want to say this, but I'm gonna come back to what you just said. I feel they make us go to school for 12 years with the option of dropping out at 16. What is it, 16? Man, they tell us to go to school and try to tell us what we should do and what not to be and what to be. But I really think that uh that extra year we need to really find out who we are. I feel that that's why more than half of college students are depressed because they don't even know who they are.
So you feel you need to have a what do they call it, a gap year?
Yeah, I feel that's important. Like, because when you in school, you get altered by everybody in so many different ways without even you noticing. Your friend group, the people that you don't want to be like, people that you do try to be like.
Right.
And I feel that alters you in a way, and when that's gone, you just be lost. So I feel that you said that gap year is important to find out who you are.
So it's an important experience for you to learn who you are and to discover the things that you want to do in life and the person that you want to become. While Soul Capone is in the back banging the shit out of his out of the pipe while we over here recording. I feel it though, it's good. So that gap year, I would say this though, this is just me talking from personal experience. This is something that I always said. I feel like the education system is flawed. I feel like it really need to be reworked because I feel like we're really institutionalized. We strategically put our children into situations of structure that's not structured. We confine them. So your creative process and your thought process that you had when you were younger or you were adolescent, when you were just spontaneously able to do shit, you lose that once you start going to the regular, as they say, job of a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Because truthfully, school is only preparing you to go work. The skill sets in school aren't given to you to become an entrepreneur or work for yourself or be self-reliant or self-dependent. So my belief on that is I really think that system is flawed in its totality, and it's an outdated system. I really believe that needs to be reworked. I'm gonna do a side note to that. We'll just start back at the beginning. So prior to you playing football, did you always know? Like, let's go back to middle school. Middle school, we'll go back to grade school. We'll say 5th grade. From 5th grade all the way up into your 9th grade year. What was your motivating factor? What was the thing that really was like, yo, I'm gonna be this? Did you consider yourself to be the next Kobe, the next motherfucking Warren Sapp, Ray Lewis? Like,
I never really wanted to be like nobody, but my inspiration in football was Ray Lewis, most definitely. Mm-hmm. Just everything that.
So at fifth grade, you was like Ray Lewis.
Yeah, my dad actually messed with Ray Lewis.
Okay.
He messed with Ray Lewis. He used to play Madden. He just used to get Baltimore. He used to talk about Ray Lewis a lot. And I started while I was when they got into football. Ray Lewis, man. Ray Lewis, the dog. That's my favorite line.
Okay, so in 5th grade, you wanted to be Ray. You wanted to be. Was you gonna do the dance and all that shit too?
Actually, yeah, because that was lit. I had planned to do it at my sack celebration.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get a chance to. I forgot actually. When the time came, I got me some sacks. I really forgot.
Okay. So give me the story. 5th grade, the 9th grade. Give me the roundabout of who we'll say Jawan was at that time and the things that Jawan was really trying to do.
Man, Jawan at that time, man. Hey, that was the time that I really, honestly, I tell you that it was good looking back at it because I wasn't dealing with the stuff that I deal with. But I can't really remember because of all the negativity that these past years have led me to that. That's really all I remember for real.
Just the negativity?
Yeah, but I know that I wasn't feeling like this. And I know that.
Okay. So were you more of a, what would they call it? Were you more of a cheerful kid, a glowing spirit, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll say, so we'll look back. We'll fast forward. We'll proceed. So 5th through ninth. Let's go from ninth through 12th.
So okay. Ninth grade was smooth. That was smooth. A good year of football. I had to make a decision for myself. I was like 270 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
That's not too cut it. So that summer, going into sophomore year, I was working. Getting right. Lost weight, like 259. That sophomore season went by good. Leading up to junior year, that summer I was cutting down like 230 something. I tore my ACL in the summer. ACL.
Was that from working out?
That was from a scrimmage against my team.
No.
So I didn't even get just to touch the field during the season, and I had to come. Well, I didn't have to. I made the decision to have to come back in 9 months from that injury to play for my senior year because I didn't want to miss that. And that was my last opportunity to get out of here in a way that I thought was the only way for me. That's the only thing that I saw was football. That's the only thing I wanted to live was football.
So football was your driving factor, was your motivating factor to do everything that you wanted to do. Was that like, let me ask you, was that like an out for everything else? Was that like a stress reliever?
That was an outlet. That was a medication. That was everything to me. And that, honestly, when that season was over, we lost in the playoffs. A part of me, I lost a part of myself because in my head I knew I wasn't gonna play football again. I tried, but realization set in even back then. But I wasn't trying to figure that. But yeah, I lost a part of me on that field.
So you said earlier, you touched on earlier, you said therapy, rehab. Let me ask you something about that. I can tell you, going through that process of myself, the therapy to rehab is probably the most strenuous thing ever. You know what I mean? That it's taxing mentally. So give me a breakdown of you at that time going through that and seeing as football was your only out, and that was your therapy, your release. That was your everything.
Those times when I was laid up and couldn't even do nothing for myself was some of the rough times for me. Not being able to have the outlet. Still, honestly, I didn't tell nobody what was really going on in me or open up until probably, let's say, almost a year after I got out of school.
So was that a conscious decision that you made to not express yourself?
I had a lot going on of people that I didn't want to be like, and I was worried about a lot of other people, so how they would feel in a way. And
so
what I used to do is
take on everybody else's
problems to avoid my own. That's exactly what I was good at. And like I said, when I got out of school, all that changed. And I had to really talk. I had to know myself, and I had to learn myself, and figure out what's good, what's bad for me, etc., etc.
So the physical therapy, at that point in time, did you, the question I want to ask, did it make you sit there and really do a deep dive into yourself and say, did you really have to look at the man in the mirror is what I'm really trying to ask?
Yeah, every time that I did, the person would change. Not for the better though, looking back at it. Not for the better. It's just that time was like a slope, a skill, an endless skill that it felt like. Honestly, and I could say that I'm trying to recover, but I still haven't fully recovered from those times.
Well, it's a gradual step. It's a step-by-step process that you have to actually go through to actually heal those. I'm not gonna say demons, but to heal those hurts and those pains. You know what I mean? So that won't come easy to you. That won't be something that you can do in 24 hours, let alone 2-3 years. It's a growing process. It's a gradually growing process. It's something that you learn from every day. So every day you should strive to be better today than you were yesterday. Now, just to touch back on that, the simple fact that you took on at that age, you felt like you were taking on all the things that you were taking on. Did that kind of made you? Did it make you lash out in other ways?
Most definitely. How I always put it, I would recommend, expressing and talking to somebody. I fall victim to either not feeling that nobody would care or not wanting to be a bother to anybody. I'm a victim of that. I felt like that, but I feel that the safest way is to try to talk to somebody. Is how I used to do it. Is I'm not gonna hurt.
It's
nobody.
not beneficial, but you were hurting yourself.
Yeah. That's
So
exactly how that went.
so you put everyone else's pain and their heartbreak, and you didn't want to feel like you were putting a burden on them as well. Damn, that's really deep. And I'll say, what age were you at around that time when you were really doing all this?
I would say 15 through 16, all the way into what I just said. That year after getting out of school, that'd be 18.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those years just, I don't even feel like years, I feel like centuries in a way, just so long and miserable. And only joy that I would get would be either on the field, having some weed or some other type of substance, just because I didn't know what was really good for me, honestly.
So, are the substance, now let me ask you this, is the substance a vice or is it for recreational use? Because you know it's two different.
Yeah, I'll say, I say recreational, but it's not consistent. It's not consistent.
You don't, so now the key into it is, the question that I want to ask, does it make you function better or does it make you function worse? Do you know that?
I personally feel that I'm in a happy place. And how I put this is that back then, how I felt every day, anything outside of how I felt good to me. It felt just a sense of relief. No, I still knew I had to come back down and deal with what I had to deal with, but just that time of not feeling. Like I said, I just feel when I feel numb. I don't feel that. That's a good feeling.
So we're gonna go a step back. Through this time, when you were really trying to figure everything out, you were really at a point to where you were taking on everything and you didn't want to express yourself. Did you feel like anybody noticed a change in you?
But yeah, I don't feel that people. I feel like it's a yes and a no actually, because some people I know, like the fact that they knew just couldn't, or that have tried to say nothing, that have tried to say something, but other people wouldn't listen. There's been times where I just feel that people would, or how I felt is that when people did start, like how I felt was when people started to care. I know they cared all along, but when people really started to care, I was already gone. Like, I'm good. That's all I kept saying.
So I really want to add, because this is two-part. It's a two-part. When the moment that people started caring, because you say that you kind of like pushed people away because you had put up a brick wall or something, or a defense mechanism.
Yeah, most definitely, I would say that. I'm not going to get perfect way. Thank you for saying that. I'm not going to say that. I'm just a victim here. I push people away. I have, and I'm just thankful that I didn't burn my main bridges in that process, because it's bridges I burned with friends that, it wasn't even more so just burn. It's just that, like I said, I had to go and really find myself over that year. I honestly went cold turkey on everything, everybody, and that was up and down throughout that whole process. But at the end, you have to learn from it.
Because you had no outlet, you had no release, you had nowhere to put your anger per se. You had nowhere to put it because everything was taken away from you. So, okay, now on that note, when everything was taken away, who did you blame?
I blame.
You
I
can
blame
speak freely.
myself.
Speak
I
freely.
blame coaches. I blame. I, I tore my ACL. I tore my left leg, my left knee up. Playing a position that I didn't have no business playing, but we had limited amount of people in that scrimmage, and by me being who I am, fuck it.
I'll do it.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I can't sit here and play the blame game, and I had to realize that I had to roll with the punches and play the cards that I'm dealt, for real. And I would say that after not having, nobody else problems to pick up when I graduated, or just really going off by myself, and even that whole time still not letting people know what was going on until I dropped that insight track. And once I did that, things became gradually easier, to the point where to this day I'm up here talking freely and we can get into more detail. But
Be comfortable.
Yeah.
Be comfortable with being able to speak about it.
I know there's still growth that to come with that, but still the progress that I have made, I'm proud of.
Okay. So we'll come back to that, maybe another episode. So we'll go. You had that gap year.
I just got an idea. My bad. I ain't even fucking.
You good. You got that gap year. No football, no wrestling, no nothing. You were kind of, I want to say, what's the Book of Eli? You were kind of the only guy on the island per se. You know what I'm saying? Type. So when you sat there and you were trying to figure out what your next path was, or the next thing for you to do, what actually led you to music? I know you've been around it, but what actually led you to, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and tap my hat into this and seeing what comes from this?
Honestly, I can't even tell you. One thing I can say is that this is something that doesn't seem like a job to me. This is something that I'm not gonna mind doing. But honestly, I can't tell you when that's that flip, that switch. Honestly, it's like a blending.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say that one of my inspirations behind, Ray Lewis about football, but my inspiration behind music was Juice WRLD. And when I was going through what I was going through, it's like his music was just like my friend, like the closest thing that I had.
He was talking to you.
Yes, everything. It was just so just touching. And he had died 2 days before my birthday. I was at, so he was at 19. I turned 18, I think. He died 2 days before my birthday. And I still wasn't making music or nothing like that. And when we got to that point of starting to make music here and there, it's just to get stuff off my chest. It wasn't to do nothing with it.
So it was therapy. It was
originally it's still therapy to me, but originally that's specifically I just come in here to speak off my chest.
Yeah. What do they call it? It's a audio journal. That's what it was. So you were using it as an audio journal, as an outlet, another way to get everything that you had going on that was inside your brain or inside you out to the people.
Yeah. Oh, so you're dealing with these confessions, actually forgetting stuff. What you said about when did that flip switch?
Mm-hmm.
When we had a meeting amongst our team where we had brought different artists in, and our managers that told us that, basically, this is a artist development phase or stage. Come in here, work. Whoever produced the most, that's who we running with. And when I heard that, that's all I really don't want to hear. Cause that summer, this prior summer, we was working on Rito Santana's project, our project, by the way. And people will hear some of my tracks here and there, just my therapy sessions, or my audio journals per se. And they like, oh, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? So I'm just waiting for my time, for real. That's all I'll say. Like, no, drop it. So I'm just waiting. And so really, I guess when y'all said, you know, whoever worked the hardest, that's just to you. That's all I really needed to hear. Is just to get somebody's attention, you know.
So prior to, do you believe that you had the necessary attention that you wanted or that you were aiming for?
I feel that, with that being said, things happen for a reason. And that situation in the summer was a learning experience for me to learn.
It was like a
listen,
college course.
To learn to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that I would have been taken is doing these YouTube tracks, putting them out. Doing these YouTube tracks and just putting them out. That's it. Because that's all the people in my school was doing. That's all I had saw. But when I seen that that wasn't the necessarily best way to go, then yeah, I have to learn to listen. I have to. Because there's people that know more than me in this field. You know, even with my sound at first, I came in here, you could, if you had insight, you would hear the difference. I'm just venting, but now I'm SB3 Waun. You know what I'm saying? So now nobody can tell me what to do on the track on my track, because they don't. I damn near perfected this in my field.
Okay, so now that's a double entendre. So, are you necessarily open to critiques?
I'm always open to.
Because you know you can't tell you about your sound. You know it's always learning experience.
Yeah, it's always a learning experience. Yeah. But I feel that certain I would say going off that, if somebody tell me, nah, bro, do your intro like this. No, shut the hell up. My intro is my intro.
Mm-hmm.
My intro speaks to me. Like stuff like that.
Okay.
Where originally it would be, hey yo, come in here like this, and then hit you with your verse, hit you with the hook, or hit, you know, because I was new to the game. I was new to the studio life, new to the booth.
So you know the type of, what you're pretty much saying is, you know the type of artist that you are, and you know the necessarily the way you want your songs to come across and when you want your songs to be heard.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you have an idea of your audience and your fan base and what it is that, not even your, you have an idea of what it is that you actually want to hear. And so that's the biggest thing. Derek Kelly just walked into the pod about nothing, D Strokes, you know what I mean? So on that note, when did you, and this is just me trying to get more insight into you, when did you develop the moniker SB3 Waun?
Honestly, when it was O time. When they said it's on the, basically when the management team put it on the floor, is that when he started forming. I like to say he was there straight off rip. He was. You know, SB3 tells the stories of Waun and put them in the story format.